Again, a big one, another big use case for VMware in the cloud is going to be disaster recovery and high availability. So a lot of customers come to us and they don't want to move production into the cloud today, but they're looking for a low-cost disaster recovery site. And we say, great, we can do that. Benefits of cloud is you don't need to pay for an entire disaster recovery site with full capacity every day of every year, like you would if you were to do it yourself on premise, right? Because a disaster happens, if you're running it yourself, you need to make sure that you have enough capacity to run your business off-site. But you can't call somebody up and be like, hey, I'm going to need a bunch of servers now. And they'll be like, great, we'll see you in 6 months. In the cloud, you can. So you can run a small footprint. You can, ensure you have enough day-to-day capacity for maybe your business critical workloads, but then you can lean on the cloud to expand that capacity when and if you need it. So whether that's a disaster recovery test, once or twice a year, or an actual disaster occurs, you can log into the cloud portal and say, I need new servers, and we'll say, great, we'll have them to you in 4 hours. So it's a great use case for those that are maybe skittish about committing to running their full production workload in the cloud, but allowing them to have that peace of mind as that backup where they can say, I have capacity, I have access to additional capacity if and when I need it. We also can design environments because of IBM Cloud's global footprint and the way our data centers are connected, networked, and exist. We can talk about how we can deploy extra high availability clusters into multiple data centers. So now we're taking more of a modern approach to an architecture framework instead of saying, okay, here's our primary site and here's our secondary site. We're going to fail over doing X, Y, Z if and when something goes sideways. We can actually implement a cluster that's stretched across multiple physical locations to give you that level of reliability and availability without necessarily making a bunch of copies all over the place, doing backups, having a disaster recovery runbook. So it's a little bit of a different way of thinking about how that architecture goes. But because of the footprint we have, and like I said, the way we're networked and the products we have in our arsenal, we can talk about stretch clusters, stretch vSAN clusters, and allowing our customers to run in multiple, what we call zones, just a fancy way of saying a data center.